Hey everyone, and sorry this video took a while to make. I was recently flying to Dublin when this news dropped, but here we are now finally getting the recently rumoured Sonic Generations remaster, but with a unique twist. This new game is called Sonic X Shadow Generations and will feature content from Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow the Hedgehog and potentially more games, with a brand new story campaign focusing on Shadow the Hedgehog called Shadow Generations, which is awesome, and it's almost fan fiction level stuff. Like, if you asked a fan what would they want if they could go back in time and remake Sonic Generations, but here we are. This is an official licensed thing from Sega and it looks amazing. And if we go to the Steam page, this is the official synopsis from Sega and Sonic Team. Shadow the Hedgehog is back and teaming up with classic and modern Sonic in Sonic X Shadow Generations, an all-new collection featuring 2 unique experiences. Play as Shadow the Hedgehog in a brand new story campaign featuring never-before-seen powers, abilities, when Shadow's old nemesis, Black Doom, re-emerges and threatens to take over the world. Shadow must journey into his own past, confront painful memories, face familiar foes, and unlock new powers to save the world and prove why he's known as the ultimate lifeform. And it's here where it also states that Sonic Generations, the full game, is also included as a full remaster. If you don't know me, I love Sonic and I love Sonic Generations. I'd argue and say Sonic Generations is in my top sort of 20 games of all time. I think Sonic Generations is amazing and I just love it. I remember getting it for Christmas back in 2011 and it was just, I keep playing the game. I reckon I play Sonic Generations at least once a year since it's come out. But in terms of the remaster for Sonic Generations, in terms of getting more content, I'd also like to see potentially the Casino Night Zone DLC added into the game, as this hasn't actually been confirmed as returning yet, but I reckon it will. I think this is a safe bet, as it was originally DLC for the original release of Sonic Generations. As well as maybe some zones from past Sonic games, and maybe even the ones ported from the 3DS version getting added. So maybe we could see like a DLC pack, or even the games just added with Sonic X Shadow Generations. For example, we might see things like Mushroom Hill Zone, Emerald Coast, and maybe Tropical Resort, all added as extra content for the base Sonic Generations game. But continuing on with what's new, Shadow Generations, and speaking of which, we also get to see small snippets of brand new returning stages in Shadow's story campaign here. First off, we get to see Space Colony Arc's final chase from Sonic Adventure 2, which was already partly in Sonic Generations, as it was the backdrop to the Shadow boss fight, with Shadows homing attacking enemies with gun robots and gun crates and grind rails all about in space. And yes, this is very much looking like final chase from Sonic Adventure 2, and that makes me very happy. Then we see the infamous corridor scene from Sonic Adventure 2 with the cutscene, where Shadow's talking with Sonic in the rival boss fight in that game, but this time it's actually Shadow being confronted by Black Doom. Now this one completely threw me off, and I suppose it is fitting that he's in Shadow Generations as a potential boss character and the main threat, because obviously he's so key to Shadow's backstory. And if you don't know who Black Doom is, he is the main antagonist from Shadow the Hedgehog, which a lot of people haven't played because it hasn't been ported back, because I suppose just because it's the fact that 1, the game wasn't received very well, and 2, obviously it's Shadow the Hedgehog but with guns, and it's, obviously that gets very messy when porting the game. But I've got to be honest, Black Doom is an amazing callback. We then see Shadow falling through what looks like to be a warped version of Westopolis from Shadow the Hedgehog, which is sort of like the opening level and stage from that game. The scene then changes once again to feature an anti-gravity platforming section with structures in the background and platforms looking like they're actually from Radical Highway from Sonic Adventure 2, which, fun fact if you don't know, was another stage that was actually in the 3DS version of Sonic Generations. We then get a new version of the Bio-Lizard boss fight, also from Sonic Adventure 2, which again was adapted into a boss fight in the 3DS version of Sonic Generations, but here we get to see Shadow using Chaos Spheres as projectiles to fight the Bio-Lizard. It's on the wall and it looks awesome. It looks like a completely new version of the fight. And also throughout the, I guess, like cinematics of this boss fight, we also get to see snippets of the original area and the original boss fight from the Biolizard fight. So maybe it might be a fake out where it starts off with something more akin to the original and then sort of slowly changes into a new version of the fight. But speaking of all these returning zones, here's hoping we get more returning zones from things like Sonic Heroes, Sonic 06, maybe Sonic Forces, and hopefully we get more soon. Also in the trailer we also get to see Shadow using Chaos Control, a warping homing attack which leaves like a transparent version of Shadow behind, so maybe that can be used to distract enemies. We get to see obviously Shadow using Chaos Sphere as projectiles like I said a second ago, as well as boosting. We've had it confirmed by Sega and Sonic Team that Shadow will have both 3D and 2D sections in his levels, so besides Black Doom and Biolizard, I also wonder who else we'll see as returning characters as boss fights. I reckon in some way, shape or form we'll see Maria, who is obviously very key to Shadow's backstory, and maybe even Methalese from Sonic 06, who's like the main antagonist from that game. We might get to see Infinite from Sonic Forces, and this would be a cool one to have Metal Sonic specifically from Sonic Heroes, like that final battle from Sonic Heroes, but it's Shadow, maybe Super Shadow fighting that, or maybe we get like a bigger fight with Black Doom, but again we'll have to wait and see. But for all those who are wanting to know, Sonic X Shadow Generations will release on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and then obviously the series consoles as well as the Switch, and PC via the Steam and Epic Game Store this fall. We don't have an exact release date yet, and although it's not confirmed, I'd actually wager we could see the game coming out or around November 1st, as this was when the original Sonic Generations released, as well as it could be marketed as celebrating the 32-year anniversary of the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, as we've also had it confirmed, as I've only found this out as of writing the script, that this year Sega are actually marketing 2024 as the year of Shadow, because obviously we're getting the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie which is going to focus on Shadow, so who knows, we could see more Shadow related things and trailers and content coming out for this game, and maybe new releases coming out this year, but again we're going to have to wait and see. Anyway everyone, thank you so much for watching the video today, and if you want more information on Shadow and Sonic Generations, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and watch more Sonic videos that I've got on the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.